What a night in the mid-state. A possible tornado, water rescues, and power lines down.
How a local mask debate at a mid-state school district is playing out as students prepare to head back to the classroom.
And an ABC exclusive, President Biden says our troops will stay until all Americans are out of Afghanistan.
Now, live from your local news source, this is ABC 27 News at 11.
A massive lightning bolt over Spring Grove, York County, and that was just the beginning of the storm. Tonight, flooding is the problem.
A possible tornado in Schuylkill County this afternoon. Courtney Wagner captured this scene around 1 p.m. in Higgins Township. We are waiting for confirmation from the National Weather Service.
And Ramona Leach in Halifax showed us how a river of water rushed between her yard and the road. Good evening, I'm Alicia Richards.
I'm Valerie Pritchett. The remnants of Tropical Storm Fred causing severe weather to roll through the mid-state. Meteorologist Dan Tomaso is here with a recap. Dan.
And of course, all those different areas you mentioned, it was a wide swath of rain, severe weather, and of course now some flooding issues. And we want to thank all the viewers out there for sharing pictures and videos so we can describe the scene in terms of what came through. And we do still have some thunderstorm action, extreme eastern and southeastern Lancaster County, more of a line extending into eastern Pennsylvania too. But when we zoom in again, a lot of this is trying to move out of the area, but there is still a severe thunderstorm warning in place for the next 15 minutes with a tornado possible within that cell. So not a tornado warning, but rotation within that thunderstorm that still could provide a brief tornado. That's been the case through much of this afternoon and evening. Severe thunderstorm warning after warning. Now, in terms of other alerts that we have out there, we still have a flash flood warning in effect for parts of Lancaster County and a flood warning in general for southeastern York into Lancaster. The main difference there is, again, is the flooding occurring as the rain's coming down, or is it more accumulative? That's the difference between the green and purple boxes there. But let's show you Precision Cast. Here's the good news that through tonight and tomorrow morning, not much going on. So once we kick those storms out of extreme eastern Lancaster County, things are looking up heading into Thursday. Just a few lingering showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. And look at temperatures. This isn't bad. Low to mid 80s. So again, we have the severe weather now obviously moving out and some of the flooding concerns beginning to wane. But tomorrow, much quieter day. Back to you.
Dan, thanks so much. We were all over the mid-state for the storm. We had a possible tornado, power lines down, and plenty of flooding.
And there were water rescues in various parts of York County, including Pelham, Manchester, and Spring Garden Townships. Jeremiah Marshall will join us shortly.
President Biden is urging Americans to get a booster shot. They'll be available starting September 20th. Health experts say the time to get one is 8 months after your second shot. Biden also announced nursing home staff must be vaccinated if facilities want to keep getting federal Medicare and Medicaid funding. That mandate could take effect as soon as next month.
More than 130,000 residents in nursing homes have sadly, over the period of this virus, passed away. At the same time, vaccination rates among nursing home staff significantly trail the rest of the country.
And he said a higher vaccine rate among staff means fewer COVID cases among residents. Coming up shortly, more from the president. His exclusive interview with ABC News. He says the military will stay until all Americans are out of Afghanistan.
And now to COVID. Here's the latest when it comes to the virus in the Commonwealth. We saw a 10% spike in new cases overnight. The health department reports over 2,300 along with 25 new deaths. Hospital admissions continue to rise, but so do vaccinations. More than 80% of PA adults have received at least one dose.
Well, we invite you to join us for an ABC27 special report, Vaccinate PA. It'll air Thursday, August 26th at 7:30. Doctors will answer your questions about COVID during this live program. You could email questions now to questions27@abc27.com. Well, parents are all focused on whether their school district has a mask mandate.
They could prove to be a problem in districts where parents have promised to defy the rules. Hannah Brandt joins us now live in the studio with more. Hannah.
Well, Alicia, Valerie, we've covered tons of mask fights at districts here in the mid-state and in Shippensburg, where masks are now mandatory. The debates have been heated and emotional, and they aren't stopping, even with school starting tomorrow. This year, masks are a must on the Shippensburg school supply list.
In here, and I also have some hand sanitizer. and some families are upset about the mandate.
It should be a personal choice.
Stephanie Eberly is one of the parents who has been vocal in this fight. She says the district has been inconsistent and unclear with their stance on masks.
It inflames the community. 10 days before school, they created this chaos.
But Superintendent Dr. Chris Seppo tells me they're trying to adapt with the pandemic and just do what they think is best for students.
We really, truly are concerned about student and staff safety, and we want to have a normal program where students are able to be in school without having to go to virtual learning.
The Eberlys say they'll keep fighting for a choice.
I believe that masks protect those who are immune compromised or who have a weakened immune system, but to force a family who eats their fruits and vegetables, their whole grains, they exercise to wear a mask, I think I'm not a fan of that. I don't support it.
Some pencils.
Everyone agrees the mask debate has become a distraction.
I just want to go back to school and just have fun with it.
But middle schooler Olivia hasn't decided yet if she'll break the rule and go maskless.
I just don't want to be sent home and not know where I'm going to go the next day, not know what I'm going to do. And I kind of just want to see what's going to play out in the classroom if there are going to be mask breaks.
Dr. Seppo says anyone who doesn't follow the policy will get a warning, but if they refuse to put the mask on, their parents will have to come pick them up from school.
I don't think that anyone really wants to, but if that's a small price to pay to be able to have some normalcy, to be able to hopefully put in some slight mitigation efforts that are going to help us have continuity in our programs and maintain kids here in school, I think it's worth it.
Now, Stephanie tells me she's been so frustrated with how the school board has handled this pandemic that now she's planning to run for the school board. She tells me she feels that she can better represent what local families in the district want from their leaders. Live in the studio, Hannah Brandt, ABC 27 News.
Thank you, Hannah. The mask policy for the Susquehanna Township School District in Dauphin County has changed again. Last night, the district reversed course and made masks optional. 2 weeks ago, the board voted to follow CDC guidelines and make masks mandatory. Now the district will host a special school board meeting about the policy. That is this coming Monday. The virtual meeting will be Monday night.
The union representing Pennsylvania's public school teachers is urging school districts to have mask mandates. The Pennsylvania State Education Association urges districts to follow CDC guidance that everyone wear masks inside. The union says masking up is essential in the face of surging Delta variant and essential to keeping in-person learning going all year. The union says 2/3 of students have not or cannot get a vaccine.
Coming up next in an exclusive sit-down with ABC, President Biden comments on troop withdrawal in Afghanistan as the Taliban tightens its control.
Thanks for watching ABC 27 News, nominated for 17 Emmys.
It's summer and energy bills are rising along with the temperature. Your old windows are reaching the end of their lifespan, letting the AC out and the energy bills in. Fortunately, Pella's beautifully designed and durable products are built to exceed Energy Star certification. With multiple product lines available in a wide range of styles and colors, Pella can upgrade the look of your home at any budget and backed with some of the best warranties in the business. No wonder Pella is rated #1 by homeowners for providing the highest value. To schedule your in-home consultation, call 855-77-PELLA or go to PellaCentralPA.com.
Helping foster children find loving families. I'm Valerie Pritchett, ABC 27 News. Join me as I introduce you to kids looking for a permanent place to call home. Val's Kids Wednesday at 7 and Sundays at 6 on ABC 27 News.
Welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Thanks, I'm here for a great deal.
Great deals are kind of our thing. You can save on the 2021s while they last, like Camry, Venza, Corolla.
Watching them come and go is really getting to my neck.
Occupational hazard this time of year. Got to keep it loose.
Lease an all-wheel drive Camry for just $239 a month, or buy one with special APR financing plus up to $1,000 finance cash, or pick an all-wheel drive Venza hybrid with $1,000 cash back.
It all ends September 7th.
Toyota, let's go places.
Every weekday we hear the Pledge of Allegiance at 11:58 a.m. featuring your family and friends, community groups, and classrooms big and small. We'd love to share more pledges on air, but we need your help. Record your pledge and share it with us at abc27.com/pledgeusa.
In his first interview since the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan, President Biden sat down exclusively with ABC's George Stephanopoulos.
Back in July, you said a Taliban takeover was highly unlikely. Was the intelligence wrong, or did you downplay it?
I think there was no consensus. If you go back and look at the intelligence reports, they said that it was more likely to be sometime by the end of the year.
You didn't put a timeline out when you said it was highly unlikely. You just said flat out it's highly unlikely the Taliban would take over.
Yeah. Well, the question was whether or not the idea that the Taliban would take over was premised on the notion that somehow the 300,000 troops we had trained and equipped was going to just collapse. They were going to give up. I don't think anybody anticipated that.
We've all seen the pictures. We've seen those hundreds of people packed into a C-17. We've seen Afghans falling.
That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
What did you think when you first saw those pictures?
What I thought was we have to gain control of this. We have to move this more quickly. We have to move in a way in which we can take control of that airport. And we did.
So you don't think this could have been handled, this actually could have been handled better in any way? No mistakes?
No, I don't think it could have been handled in a way that we're going to go back in hindsight and look, but the idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happened.
So for you, that was always priced into the decision?
Yes.
Well, some Afghan Americans in the mid-state are worried about their families back home. We talked with Kabir Amani, who resettled here in 2008 and now owns a martial arts studio in Cumberland County. He says the situation is shocking and the way it went down unexpected. He also says the Taliban's return to power frightens his family trying to get out.
When it comes to, them building the rules and making laws and stuff like that, which I'm sure they're going to change a lot of things, we just don't know what's going to happen. It has definitely taken a lot of toll on our family over there.
Mani hopes the federal government does more to help bring those refugees here to the United States.
We're going to circle back to our top story. That storm we had in the mid-state tonight, we had various water rescues in York County.
And Jeremiah Marshall joins us now live with more. Jeremiah.
Yeah, throughout the day, we saw extreme rains, and that rains left heavy flooding as well, where emergency crews say you have to be careful.
We have not had flooding like this for a couple of years.
Dramatic scene in York at the intersection near Market Street, ramp of 83.
Within a very short amount of time, it was more than 5 feet of water,
causing cars to float. PennDOT's roads are having issues
with flooded roads, down trees,
and rescues.
Water rescues there. There've been water rescues along 30, Roosevelt, Louts Road, other sections of 83 that emergency responders have been going out to do rescues.
In Dauphin County, water rushed off the mountain and it could take a while to recede.
Water table itself has just been kind of overwhelmed, and if drains aren't freed up, that there's lots of debris in there, it's going to take a long time for the water to go.
Finally, this advice.
Barrier signs, whatever up. If you go around that knowing that the road is closed, it's anywhere from $250 to $500 fine, 2 points on your license.
And crews also stress the importance of staying aware of your surroundings and remaining vigilant whenever there's heavy rains. Reporting in York, Jeremiah Marshall, ABC 27 News.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Logan Reaver joins us now with a look ahead at what's coming up to sports.
Yeah, Eagles fans hoping that their first-round pick and Heisman winner, could he make his NFL debut tomorrow night? The latest on Devontae Smith's road to playing and his impact of being back later in sports.
Also coming up tonight, wildfires raging through Northern California as the situation becomes more dangerous by the day.
What does Freeburn Fights mean to you?
After getting hurt on the job, it means I can still be there for my family. With no income and medical bills piling up, things were pretty tight. But Greg had my back. He stepped in and then made the insurance company pay the workers' compensation benefits we needed to get our lives back. And hopefully someday soon, I'll be back on my feet and back on the job.
If you're hurt at work, let Freeburn fight for you. Call the Sevens for a free consultation.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Or current eligible GMC lessees can get this low mileage lease on this 2021 Terrain SLE for around $199 per month.
Some of the best summer trips are close to home. This week we take a tour of a Bucks County estate from the 1700s, where gardens grow and history lives. On the next Destination PA.
Sponsored by Discover Lancaster. Thursday at 6 on ABC27.
You're watching ABC 27 News, your local news source.
Well, you were all over this tonight. What a night it was.
And so were the both of you. I mean, the newsroom was buzzing, and of course here in the Weather Center we were busy because once the rain started to fall, it just added up over and over and over again. And here's some of the numbers. I mean, I want to go through this and just show you what fell across the region. Upwards of 5, 6, even 7 inches of rain over parts of eastern Perry County, northwestern Dauphin County. This whole stretch, again, eastern Perry County toward the river, and then extreme western parts and northwestern parts of Dauphin County, down through 81, parts of Route 11 and 15 still inundated with rain too, Carlisle. And then as we look down toward 30, where we just heard about some of those water rescues happening, we had 4, 5 inches of rain in about a 2 to 3 hour time period. That stretched from York to Lancaster and then even northeast toward 222 as more storms took off and developed. Were there heavier spots even outside of these regions? Sure, of course, but these were kind of the swaths of where some of the heaviest activity was. Now look at radar and you can see that we still have a couple of thunderstorms. If you look across the horizon, you may see still some of that cloud to cloud lightning in the distance. So for the most part now, all flash flood warnings are canceled or have been allowed to expire. So that's the good news. We have moved on from that. There are some flash flood warnings to the east of Lancaster County and to parts of Chester County, though. York County getting a break, western Lancaster County getting a break too, but this is a flash flood watch still in place until the line clears. So a lot of watches and warnings. The good news is the tornado watch has been allowed to expire. It was still for York and Lancaster counties, but this little area of rain wants to keep going from Quarryville up through Parkersburg and then toward Collin, east of Paradise. So this is the last remaining area that we still have to push out of extreme eastern Lancaster County. Red line currently drying out after some very heavy rain came through the region. How about downtown Lancaster too? Looking a lot better than it did just a couple of hours ago. And just west of Lancaster City, we had some water rescues too along 30. Current conditions, 73 degrees in Duncannon, by far the highest rainfall getter on our WeatherNet sites at just over 5 inches. 3 2-inch reports pretty common too on those WeatherNet sites across the region. So can we now say goodbye to Fred? I certainly hope so. It has moved on. The center of low pressure moving on itself, but we still have some clouds and humidity to get through tomorrow. That may lead to a stray shower or thunderstorm, but just notice in general how much more in terms of quiet weather we have tomorrow compared to today. That system, again, left over from Fred, will be long gone. Now, the 7-day forecast, indeed, we still have a lot of 80s and still some humidity over the next couple of days. Temperatures middle to upper 80s. Possibly making a run at 90 degrees next week, but in terms of showers and thunderstorms, this will definitely be the heaviest we see likely for the next 7 to 10 days.
Good to see some sun in your 7-day forecast.
Yeah, so let's dry out a little bit, please, and thank you.
All right. Well, diffusing a potentially deadly situation, police officers with York County's crisis intervention team were honored for saving the life of a suicidal man. It was recorded on police body cams. This was at an overpass in May. The man had threatened to jump, then held a knife to his throat, but the officers used their skills and training to save his life. Today, the York County Commissioners presented the officers with a proclamation for their excellent work.
The biggest thing that we can do is remember to have compassion for people. And I think as police officers, the training that we get and how to talk with someone and how to de-escalate situations is crucial in anything that we do, and trying to make, like I said, York County a safer place to live in.
Toss it, toss it, toss it. There you go, buddy. Good job, man. Awesome.
And last year, the York County Crisis Intervention Team responded to nearly 2,000 calls.
Still ahead tonight, as pressure for aid to Haiti grows, the death toll rises. One Mid-State man shares his story. He was there when the earthquake happened. Tonight's military hero is William Forey Sr. He served in the Marines from 1958 to 64. He was a combat photographer. He recently passed away. We remember you, we salute you, and we thank you for your service.
Presenting Kia's lineup of exceptionally capable, available all-wheel drive SUVs, backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Lease a new 2022 Sportage LX all-wheel drive for $179 a month.
After a car crash, put experienced attorneys on your side. When you're hurt in a car, call HHR. Just dial 2s.
Get answers to your questions at abc27.com/vaccine.
Let the celebration begin!
Visit PARenfair.com.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC.
Or current eligible GMC lessees can get this low mileage lease on this 2021 Terrain SLE for around $199 per month.
Replacing your windows should be stress-free and add value to your home. Infinity from Marvin Windows are your best choice. Made with Ultrex fiberglass, 8 times stronger than vinyl. Low maintenance and available in many colors. And we leave your home spotless. Schedule your free design consultation plus this great offer.
Homespire Windows and Doors is proud to offer Infinity Windows by Marvin. Act now, no deposit, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. Save up to 15% on your purchase.
Presenting Kia's lineup of exceptionally capable, available all-wheel drive SUVs, backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Lease a new 2022 Sportage LX all-wheel drive for $179 a month.
As wildfires continue through Northern California, one utility company has blacked out more than 51,000 customers in order to prevent new fires. The latest wildfire covers over 84 square miles and destroyed the small town of Grizzly Flats. That's one of about a dozen big fires causing extensive damage.
Little help has arrived in Haiti, and the government there is slow to react. Days after the 7.2 magnitude earthquake, hospitals remain overwhelmed. The death toll exceeds 2,100. Lancaster businessman Jim Weber was there when it happened on Saturday. He owns a factory in Haiti. His building remains intact, but for his employees, this is just the latest disaster.
With everything that the people of Haiti have been through, for them to go through Tropical Storm Fred and then 3 days later have an earthquake and then have another tropical storm or a tropical depression Grace behind that was just, it's just a lot for any country, let alone Haiti.
Well, before the earthquake, before the tropical storm, Haiti's president was assassinated just over a month ago.
And new details on the T-Mobile data breach that we reported earlier this week. Well, it turns out it affected customers and non-customers. Here's how. T-Mobile says nearly 8 million current subscribers may have had their data leaked to hackers, but it also affects 40 million former and expected customers. Now, if someone applied for credit with T-Mobile but never followed through, they are still at risk. The stolen data includes names, birth dates, Social Security, and driver's license numbers.
A world leader is joining the push to get people immunized. Speaking in his native Spanish, Pope Francis is advocating for vaccines.
Vacunarse con vacunas autorizadas por las autoridades competentes es un acto de amor.
In a public service announcement, he calls being vaccinated an act of love. The Vatican has made it clear the COVID vaccines are a moral good and are acceptable for Catholics to receive. Coming up next, delayed food assistance is frustrating Pennsylvanians trying to feed their families.
ABC27 News is sponsored in part by Window Nation.
It's Window Nation's Talking Windows with Harley and Aaron.
Looking for replacement windows? Phil, tell them what they can save.
Now buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Window Nation, the perfect fit.
If there's ever a summer to get away, this is it.
And the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event is here to make it happen. Secure your deal and head to your Hyundai dealer today, where new vehicles are arriving daily, and get away with summer-only savings on all models. This is your summer to get away with it all. Hey, it's your journey. Own it.
Lease an Elantra for $149 a month, or get an Elantra or Sonata for 0% APR plus 0 payments for 90 days. Hurry in.
All right, team, time to bet NFL games. Confidence.
I'm feeling a parlay with more legs than a spider.
So 9 legs?
Roll the dice, baby.
Indecision?
We pick one home favorite. I abstain.
You can't abstain.
Boring! 6-leg parlay, 2 home dogs, all hitting the over. Boom!
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and feel the NFL action like never before.
They're here.
You brought all these players in your Buick?
Yeah, it has 3 rows.
So you.
Your Buick has Apple CarPlay. Where do I plug in?
It's wireless.
That's so you. What do I do with these? Careful, it's kind of busy.
Oh, I got this with my superpowers.
And a little help from your Buick.
At the heart of every Buick SUV is you. Current eligible Buick lessees get this low-mileage lease on this 2021 Buick Encore GX for around $179 per month.
Window Nation's summer sale is here. Save thousands with buy 2, get 2 free. There's no limit. Buy 4, get 4 free. Plus, make no down payment, make no payments, and pay no interest for 24 months. Call Window Nation today, 866-95-NATION or windownation.com.
Step back in time at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair at Mount Hope Estate. 2 lucky winners will win a family 4-pack of tickets each week until September 26th. Go to abc27.com/contest or the ABC27 News app to enter.
Lancaster County is changing vendors for its ballots after numerous issues in the May primary. The commissioners voted to approve a contract with NPC Inc. It's taking over for Michigan Election Resource after the county blamed it for a series of egregious errors, including misprinted ballots. Issues with the ballots forced a delay in the counting and certification in the May primary election.
A program meant to help families hit hardest by the pandemic is causing some frustration. A number of Pennsylvania families who qualify for food assistance have not received their pandemic electronic benefit transfer benefits, or PEBT. They're waiting for that card to come in the mail.
My sister hasn't got hers neither. My neighbor hasn't got his. My other neighbor hasn't got hers.
The state says as of July 23rd, more than 600,000 cards were activated out of 1 million it intended to mail. A state spokesperson says it's possible the cards are delayed or lost in the mail, or recipients may have mistakenly thrown them out.
Some schools already back, others will get started soon, and there's still a big need for bus drivers. Local bus companies say some schedules could be modified because of it. Ryan Dellinger with the Pennsylvania School Bus Association says companies are recruiting as fast as they can, but people are not applying.
At the end of the day, remember, ultimately it's the kids' safety that is of utmost importance. So yes, we would love to be able to get drivers through in a matter of a couple weeks, but we have to make sure they're well trained, they're qualified, so that takes a little time.
Like other businesses having a hard time recruiting, school bus companies have increased pay and are offering bonuses.
Garth Brooks is the latest artist to cancel his tour with the purpose of stopping the spread of COVID. He had 5 states left on his tour, including Maryland and Ohio, but decided to cancel the remaining dates. He says he must do his part to fight the pandemic.